Welcome to Global Village. Today we have two guests, Reg Radke from Medicine College Manager, and also Mr. Ankit, who is the owner of the Bassano Pharmacy. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Reg?
Okay.
I know you were born in Ethiopia, but just apart from that.
I've been lived in Brooks now for 12 years, and that's the time that I've been employed by Medicine Hat College. And I was born in Hanna, Alberta, and have lived all my life in Alberta, but I've traveled around a lot of different countries and some different jobs. So.
Wow, that's very good. Yes, Mr. Ankit, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I born and brought up in India. I studied in India, and in 2003 I migrate from India to here in Canada. So I landed in Toronto, then I stay 1.5 years in Ontario, then I came to Calgary. So almost 13 years I'm in Canada, and now I'm Canadian.
Oh, that's very good. So you are based in Calgary or Bassano then?
Like I stay on both places, like, but my family is in Calgary right now.
And your business in?
Business is here, yeah.
Oh, okay, no, that's very good. So you've been here in Canada for 13 years?
Yeah.
Well, you know the new Canadians, so you are a Canadian now.
Now Canadian, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I need visa when I go to India. So
Oh.
it's a different, yeah. So that's
Okay.
a
But I thought India is a Commonwealth. So you-
Commonwealth, yeah.
so
but
it
still I
requires
have to pass with all. Like they give us a multiple visa kind of stuff right now.
Oh, when you go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I go back. But we lose our all rights from India now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No votes, nothing like yeah. We don't invest money. Yeah. We
So you
don't-
are a foreigner then?
I'm a foreigner. I'm a Canadian now. They
Oh.
treat me as a Canadian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a it's called Welcome to the Canadian
Yeah.
Club.
Now we are Canadian. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Reg, you want to tell us a little bit about the college? The new program is that for the 2016 they intend to implement, I guess?
Well, first of all, Medicine Hat College is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
So that's a nice achievement. And there's been a lot of changes at Medicine Hat College, and a new president, a lot of new senior managers and executives changed, and so that's I guess that's not unusual for institutions. Some of the things they're looking at right now, the college is doing a regional needs assessment related to identifying new programming needs, so trying to identify emerging labor needs, workforce needs in southeastern Alberta and in Medicine Hat, and then trying to match those up with either changes that need to be made to current programs or moving into new programming areas. There's things such as renewable energy that's certainly on the horizon, and that's something that may emerge from some of this as well. We're also seeing a change in different workforce areas in different sectors. Some employment numbers and demand are decreasing in some areas, and there's some emerging in other areas. That's kind of general, I guess, but so the college is looking at what they need to do to make some changes in programming.
Okay. I think that will include also having a high school at the college in the future.
Well, that's the consideration, yeah. There is a small committee working on what they call the revitalization of Brooks campus, and one of the central ideas in that conversation is locating a high school and working with Grasslands Public Schools to locate that high school at the Brooks campus, along with some other kind of related partnerships and collaborations with other services and things for the community.
Wow, that's good. So, Mr. Ankit, do you want to tell us to our viewers about India in general, the tradition, the culture, and you are the second largest, I think, in population-wise
yeah.
after China.
Yeah. Like I born and brought up in India. I was in a western zone. It's a huge difference between culture. Like in India, if you travel 500 kilometers, when you go in other province, or we say state over there, so when you travel 500 kilometers, language is different, food is different, everything is different. The same festival we celebrate different way. So you can see like different colors, different style, like even though it's surprised us too. Like, so yeah, I didn't travel much more in India, but wherever I go, I was amazed. Like they have a totally different, even though we don't understand each other language, that's something different. And even like we have common language, like a national language. So we talk in a national language. Or nowadays people, they talk in English a lot, so they communicate in English a lot, so it should be fine. But it's something different if we compare with North America or Canada. Like it's a different like that. When we travel here, like even in US, so we can find out same McDonald's and same, but over there no, it's different.
In culture and tradition, both.
Traditionals, everything is different, yeah.
But you have a common language then.
We have a common language, yeah. So when we talk with other state persons, so we go on a common, like common language, like in Hindi or English, yeah.
Okay, Hindi I think is the common language.
Common language, yeah.
Okay, but you have too many other languages.
Oh, there are. This says like 300 different languages. It says, yeah. Even in a same state or same province, every 200, 300 kilometers, their dialogues are different. The words what they use are different.
Wow.
Yeah, example, my wife, she's from the same province, but around 300 kilometers away from us. So they have a dialogue different. Yeah.
So you don't understand each
No,
other?
we understand, but sometimes I have to concentrate, like how she go, like if she go fast, so maybe it's hard for me. Yeah.
Well, then
So
maybe
it's different.
Maybe both of you can speak English then. Would be easier.
Yeah. No. When we meet with other state guys, so we usually go with the common like language like English or Hindi. Yeah.
So what was did you first came here to Canada, or you came with your wife?
We came like my son. He was I would say he was 2-year-old, and yeah, we migrate here with family. I migrate with family.
Good.
Yeah, we landed in Toronto, so and we stay around 6 months or something in Toronto, in Scarborough. Then we moved Brampton. Yeah, but we came together here.
So what was the challenge you faced when you first arrived to Toronto?
To be honest, like
the weather?
nowadays, when 2003, when I came here, so we have almost all ideas about weather condition. First of all, weather was the big challenge. Like we came from hot country, like it was hot weather, and here it's a cold. So it was the challenge we thought. Then maybe language, but language was fine because we studied in English when I was in school, so it was okay. We can understand at least. And the third thing about to complete our education, like once we done our education, then we have a good life, like so that was like 2 years or 3 years was challenging, but our mind was set for that. So we knew that when we move somewhere else, obviously you have to struggle at least for a few years, then life should be fine.
Yeah.
And fortunately it's happened same thing what I was thinking. Yeah. So 2 years, like I was working in a packaging, I was working in a security, and I side by side I have to study. So that was we had enough. I have to fulfill like a requirement for family too.
Yeah.
So this was like 2 years was challenging. Then it was fine. Then once I passed my exam, got degree, then it's going smooth.
Yeah, they always say a Canadian dream can only come when you sacrifice.
Oh yeah, and it's a natural. And it's and the 2 years it's not a bad journey. Like it was little challenging, but it was fine, totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new country, new people, new system. It's not as easy as it's like Rich traveling to somewhere in the jungle in Africa or India, or it's tough. It's not easy. It's unless you walk the shoes of the person. It's not easy. Rich, you do have a lot of diverse students at the college. Basically, some of them are taking ESL, some of them are probably upgrading, and some other courses that at the college. Would the college still offer the carpenter or other trades, for example?
Yeah, we currently offer two, they're equivalent to first-year apprenticeship programs in carpentry and, in welding and electrical. It's called pre-employment, but it's the same as first year. It's just another different way to get in. We are looking, we would like to expand that to at least one more trade there at Brooks campus, maybe two. We just finished the rig tech program. The rig technician is an apprenticeship program, and certainly with the economy and kind of price of oil, that's certainly taken a hit on employment in that area, but there was still enough interest. We ran the apprenticeship program this month of May. If the economy would be different and there was enough jobs in that industry, we would have had 3 intakes, both April, May, and June, so with about 20 people each. But so we're running that, and that's still there, and it'll go again next year if there's demand. And so we're looking at 1 or 2 other trades to try to offer at the Brooks campus.
What about the ESL program? Are you expanding the ESL?
Yeah, the ESL will be expanding in the fall. This is funding through the federal government through the Language Instruction for New Canadians program. Currently we have about a little over 100 students right now, and in the fall we'll take in another 20 to 30 students in another class. About half of those students come in the morning, 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and about the other half come in the evening at about 6 o'clock at night. So there's quite a split there. These students are progressing at different levels. We collaborate with the Brooks Community Adult Learning Council. They have similar funding, but for the pre and levels 1, 2, 3 in the Canadian Language Benchmark system. And from there they come to Medicine College for 4, 5, and 6 levels. And so then from there they move up into upgrading or into some other programs.
Wow, that's that. But what about the idea of joining the Adult Learning Center together with the college and then have one venue maybe?
Well, that's certainly possible. It's been talked about. Right now, space might be an issue. The Community Adult Learning Center has been growing quite a bit in the last couple years, and that certainly could be an option that could be looked at. It's been talked about and looked at a few times.
Okay, no, that's good. So I could, if you may be a little bit, sometimes I'm confused with the new Canadian terminology, because new Canadian is if you've been here 40 years, you're still new Canadian, unless you were born here. So we are still new Canadians. That's the definition of the new Canadian is and that's what I was told is if you were born here, if you happen to born here, then you are a Canadian. But if you are come here and stayed here for about length of time, you will still be considered new Canadian. So what do you think the diverse population, for example, such as either Bassano area or maybe Brooks area, what are the advantage, for example, because India is a very diverse population?
Yeah. First of all, in my mind was set, if I migrate, when I change the whole country, when I came, from India to here, so I should keep my eye open for any places where I have good opportunity. So some people who come from other country, let's say some my friends, they stay in Toronto because they like to have their they don't want to move and make some changes. So I don't say they're stuck, but they make that limited opportunity. They can have more opportunity, but they don't want to move. Let's example, few friends, they are engineer in Toronto, and here at that time we had a really great time, 2006, oil and gas. So even though I explained them, but they don't want to make any change. So it's something I don't agree with them. If you have a good opportunity, you should go anywhere. And
is it because they live in Toronto a very long time?
They live in longer time,
Or
like
they're
let's say
afraid to
4 or
come?
5 years. If they stay in a one place, so they are so much used to, so they
Comfortable.
comfort. They have a friends. They have a And here when we move, so friends are our family. So usually they don't want to make any changes because they think if we move again, we have to make new friends, new environment, new stuff, and sometimes they are scared. So then they don't take any more step. Otherwise, they can have more wide choice here, like they can grow more, but they don't. So it's happened. And people who move from, let's say, India or other country, so if they have expectation is too high, so sometimes they have a problem. Like they don't even think like few years we need some time to adjust, with new environment, new thing. So sometimes that's why they become more challenging for them. Yeah.
So having an expectation too high.
Too high from initial, like everything is different. Like our study, even though they consider our degree, it takes time to recognize, to understand how dialogues and everything. So, but my mind. I knew that when I came to Canada, internet was the best source. So and my few friends were here, so I get more idea about that. So what challenge I had, so it was fine for me. Yeah.
So well, I think if they feel comfort in Ontario, that's fine. But they should be exploring other places in Canada.
Yeah.
And maybe one day they'll probably come to the West and then find out more opportunities.
Yeah, and every person, like every experience, like people come from different experience, different like opportunity. So if they keep their eye open, and let's say in a BC, some places like in Alberta, they have like in Saskatchewan, some places they have a good opportunity, like in a mining site, they can get good job. But they need to think, like they don't want to take steps. They say no, we are fine. Yeah.
Well, people always don't like changes. They are afraid from change, even though sometimes changes are good, but human being a little bit hesitant for the change. That is, yeah, Reg, you've been in Brooks for a long time, and you've seen the changes happening for the past many years. Being a small town and then growing, and then having all these different ethnic groups coming along. That during that period of past 10, 12, 14 years, I think, is growing. What do you think the advantage of having a diverse population such as the one in Brooks, Passan, or other places in the county?
Well, I think there's just ordinary things like different food and products on the grocery store shelves in different restaurants. Yeah. You can go to different community events where there's different songs, different dances. You can look on the street and there's different fashions, things like that. So those are common things. So it's just a variety. As you get to know some of those communities and people in those communities, you are able to learn a lot more about other traditions, other values, and whether that's geographic, whether it's political, whether it's family life. It just expands your knowledge and expands your viewpoints. If you're interested in that thing. So those kind of things. So it's been quite interesting living in Brooks. There's a lot of dichotomy. There's a lot of unusual scenes. There's a lot of unusual stories. Certainly lots of challenges, but the community has really responded well in terms of having to figure out solutions, whether it's language, culture, traditions, family life, school life, just community life, citizenship, just a number of challenges. So there's been lots of challenges in the community, but I think the community has responded quite well.
We can be a good lesson for or example for other parts of Alberta.
Yeah,
because the town is small, the city is still small.
In conversations we've had before and elsewhere, it's not a unique term to myself, but sometimes I view Brooks particularly and the surrounding community kind of as a living laboratory of cultural diversity.
Yeah,
both the good and the bad, challenges and all all the accomplishments, but a lot of trial and error and trying to figure out what works.
Well, life is a learning process, so we're still learning, but I think we are on the right path, and I think we have a great community, not only Brooks, also the count of New York, the whole region. We just need to expose more. Ankit, were you always thinking of to be a pharmacist, or is it something that just came along when you came to Canada?
No, I wanted to be a pharmacist. We had a business in India too. Like we just sold like 1.5 years ago. So my dad, he's a pharmacist. So we have a family business. So I worked 5 years on my own business in India.
Okay.
Then so I wanted to be so I like to be, and I'm fine with that. So yeah, and so always I like when I came here. So few years obviously I had to go for jobs and everything, and I was looking for good opportunity. Once I have a good opportunity, I will start my own business. Mm-hmm. I used to work at that time in a Pincher Creek, Fort McLeod. So my goal was go in a small town and open business. Mm. And fortunately I got opportunity here in Bassano. So and I'm very happy. I'm very pleased with that.
So you fit into this community.
Perfect. Then? Yeah, I didn't expect people how they love and they give us a respect. It's tremendous. And I'm so blessed. I'm here.
Good. And they have a good mayor anyway.
Oh, good mayor. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So no, that's a very good. The equivalent of the rupees to the Canadian money, is it much different, or is it?
Yeah, it's a different. But economy wise, if we count, usually I travel to India every year. I go to usually in December or so. But right now how economy and how expensive over there. So sometimes I feel it's a cheaper and reasonable here in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, even when I count as a restaurant, so here is better. Oil, gas price is better.
Wow.
Vehicles are cheaper here. And if you compare apple to apple, let's say, then here is cheaper because taxes are higher over there. Mm-hmm. When you go for certain vehicles, so then they consider as a luxury vehicle, so then they charge a lot. And so even land price is expensive. When I'm a farmer in India, we have a farm in India too. So when I compare the farming land price and here, it's a huge different. Yeah.
But if you want to buy land, you will be buying as a foreigner, not as as Indian.
Now I'm not allowed.
Oh, you cannot even buy?
No, I cannot buy land.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I have as a heritage, I can continue with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I cannot buy as a now in present. I cannot buy land. I cannot have a government job in India. I'm not allowed for vote. Yeah.
Oh.
So there are restrictions. Basically, I have a visitor visa over there. So
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's at least you have the heritage, the family stuff that is still with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, how best you've been in education for a long time. How best in your own mind, for example, to encourage kids to continue education, not only high school, but to continue further in the education, even though there is some challenges for every individual. What you think might be a good message to the youth so they can compete the 21st century? Education is extremely important.
Well, yeah, it is. Education is extremely important. So, I guess that's a personal opinion.
Yeah.
But also, I spent a good part of my life in education. But even from another career in agriculture, it's important. It's not a unique saying, but it's something my dad used to say, is that it's any kind of training you get, or certificate or degree or diploma, whatever it is, it's real easy to carry around in your back pocket in case you need it someday, and it helps open doors. You never know what opportunity is going to come up, and if you have some education, it might not be exactly the same as that door requires, but it'll help you. It'll get you started. It's a good base. It's real easy to carry around, real easy to take advantage. So it's a real door opener. and career-wise, it just gives you so many opportunities. So whatever kind of education or training, whether it's short, longer term, trades, professional, it's, try something, do something, get to some point, get to some level, and then you'll never know where you'll be able to take advantage of that.
There's always ups and downs, but just stick to the.
Well, I don't know if it's ups and downs or just back and forth. You never know. In our society today, you might change careers several times. You might change jobs several times, and whether you're a pharmacist or whether you're a small business owner or whether you're a land developer, you never know. You might be involved in all of those things, and so any kind of education and training will benefit you.
Yeah, same too, Mr. Ankit, having also background from immigrant population or the new Canadians, newcomers, all the same. What would be your message, for example, to the new Canadians or immigrants is to continue education in terms of prosperous future in the future?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say to other immigrants, this is one of the, I would say, best country, best place to live on earth. It's a tremendous opportunity. There is no restriction. And also what Ray, he mentioned, this is the one thing one guy, he mentioned me about that. When you migrate any country, you should learn their language and you should have at least one degree or certificate from the country. So your life always good.
Well, that's very good. I think you expected to learn the language, you expect to know the system, because if he goes to India, Reg has to know the system, a little bit about Indian language. So it's a common that we came here, so we have to learn the system and we have to learn the language.
Yeah,
that's no way out.
And also, doesn't matter how smart you are, how much you have experience, but if you have a certificate or some degree, so it's always your door. They can keep door open for that. You have to prove. So certificate can see that, you are the person. You can go in and you can prove yourself. Yeah.
So we should stop complaining and whining and do something.
Something, yeah.
Okay, that's a good message. How best we can attract investors to the region, you think? Raj, you've been in economic development here for a long time. You've been in that, the college for a while. How best you think we can attract investors, for example, or business like Ankit to the region?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah, in your own opinion. Based on your experience.
Yeah, I think you have to present your community as a good place to live.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a starting point. Then you have to sell, or you have to market all the advantages you have in your community. Whether that's a tax base, whether it's a land base, whether it's a workforce that you have there, transportation, education, different policies, whatever those advantages are, you've got to market that. You've got to put that out for people to see. And certainly these days, I believe that information has to be available in online in a variety of ways, but that's where people are looking. They're looking for that kind of information, whether it's through social media or whether they're mining information through Google or whatever it is, but they're looking for the kind of information, and so communities have to be present and have some kind of presence online, and then to have that kind of information ready for people to look at. People are looking, and so if they say, yeah, I'd like to live there, but what are the opportunities from a business point of view? Are there any vacancies? Are there opportunities? So they'll sort through that information. In terms of getting investment, whether it's investment capital or people just to come to invest in business, it's going to vary. I don't think there's a real set formula for that. But as long as you have, as long as you're getting out there and getting noticed somehow,